Welcome, my name's Kiana and I'm a professional Irish fiddle player. I'm broadcasting to you today from Florida, where I am on tour with Come From Away, the Broadway musical. And it's my pleasure today to play with you this wonderful classic holiday tune, Silent Night. So I'm going to play it for you first, and then we're going to work on a little bit together, figure out some ways to make it extra beautiful, and hopefully add to your playing repertoire. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3, here we go. There's so many things we can talk about when we're playing a beautiful slow tune like that, like this, I should say. And the first thing I just want to throw out there before we go any further is that everyone thinks playing slow is easy, and it's not. Playing slow is the hardest thing, and it's really, really hard to do well. So take your time, be patient with yourself, and really enjoy the process of this. Now, this tune is interesting for a couple reasons. First of all, it's in 3, so we're going to be counting like a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you may already be familiar with this melody, but it's such a gorgeous melody that's all about beautiful, long, connected phrases. And that is actually something that's really tricky to do on the violin. We're trying to emulate the sound of a human voice with beautiful, long phrases, just like you would sing them without breathing in between, but we just have this stick with a little bit of horsehair on it. So it's all about getting really connected with your bow, okay? Beautiful, beautiful long tones. So we're in the key of D, and why don't we just practice these first 2 phrases for just a minute, pull them out of the tune, and practice how we can connect them really nicely. So the first phrase sounds like this. It's going to start on an open A. See if you can find that. So it's down, down, up, down, and we're slurring through this dotted note here. It's long, short, long, and over to the F sharp. Try that with me. Ready? And now, how smooth can you make that? Can it feel like you're playing through maple syrup or molasses? Particularly, the tricky part is switching strings there. How beautiful can you make that transition? Switching strings. Okay? And if you're finding this a little bit tricky, another thing you can think about in how to make things slow is like if you were driving, or say you're running and you're changing directions, you have to be really careful about how you slow down the bow. In fact, we really don't want to hear a stop at all. We don't want to hear stops in between. So try to keep that speed going and really graceful as you kind of change directions there. Okay? Now the other thing I want to point out that's tricky and kind of advanced, but I think really makes this tune beautiful. In the phrase, so we're in basically bar 17. We just finished this beautiful F sharp, and we have a big jump to get up to that lovely high phrase, that E. Now, I would suggest playing a 4th finger E for the first one in bar 17, and then an open E in the second, for the second E that you play there. So it looks like this. You've just finished this note. play fourth finger, and then open E. And why we're doing that is because you've finished really low down on that D string, on an F sharp. It's just too hard to jump from that cleanly to this E and make it clean and connected and beautiful. So if you can play a fourth finger in between, you have a chance of making that really smooth, and then you get to have a beautiful open E when you're about to travel up. So, all that to say, measure 17, when we get there, I'll call it out to you, but it's going to be fourth finger first, then open E, and then you get to travel up to that beautiful G. And then the last thing, again, that makes playing slow extra difficult is that it's all about phrasing. We're not about flash and how fast can I play notes here. It's about how beautifully I can play them. And for me in this tune, the pinnacle of this, the apex of the whole melody, is that beautiful high G. So when you get there, try to just take an extra moment to really sit in it. Maybe add a little bit of extra weight, a little bit of extra vibrato, even the tiny teensiest bit of extra time. They'd call this a tenuto mark, where you give it just a teeny bit of extra moment to settle. Okay? So, should we try playing this beautiful song together? Let's do it. Here we go from the top. Think like a singer here. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. Now, if you get the chance to perform this for someone over the holiday season, make sure you take that extra moment at the end when you finish a beautiful slow tune. Just hold your instrument there for a second, take a breath, and then relax everything down. It will just let that beautiful tone sit just a moment longer and preserve everyone in that beautiful capture that is the moment of music creation. It's such a passing, fleeting thing in life, and it's such a magical thing, especially this time of year, to bring everyone together. So I hope you enjoy it. Best of luck practicing, and stick with it. We'll see you soon.